Hello, hello, welcome to Rachel Paints Poorly. My name is Rachel and I paint poorly. Can you smell that? No, not that. Smells like love. Yes, love is in the air. Perhaps you or someone you know has gotten engaged over the winter holiday season, from Thanksgiving to Christmas to Valentine's Day. And now that March is here, you are ready to get started on the most important part of your wedding, finding your wedding dress. Yay! Stop. When it comes to wedding dress shopping, do you even know what matters more than anything else? Not the silhouette, not the accessories. That's right, the alterations. For those of you who are not yet in the know, I don't just alter mismatched hemlines on window curtains destined to be clothing, or let out cosplay shorts for my sister because she's a skinny legend. I actually got my start in alterations at a bridal store, altering wedding gowns, mostly. So I decided, as wedding season rapidly approaches, to offer up 5 wedding gown alterations tips and tricks to help guide you as you begin your quest. And so, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Plan for alterations. That's right, ladies, the odds of you finding a wedding dress off the rack that fits you perfectly are not in your favor. And that's okay. Unless you are ordering a custom dress, the dresses that you find on the racks are made to fit as many people as possible. Get out your pencil and paper because here is something you might not know. Everybody is different. Now that we've got that out of the way, here's the real kicker. Make sure you're sitting down for this one. You're not perfectly symmetrical. Oh Lord. I need my smelling salts to recover from that one. Ugh. Yes, it's true. Most of us have a curve to our spine, a shoulder or a hip, or both, that's higher than the other, or in one bridesmaid's case, a broken clavicle, looking like a 45-degree angle. So that was interesting. But you know what? I pinned and sewed that dress myself to ensure that it would fit her properly. And it did, like a glove. And that's why alterations are so important. Is it possible to have a perfect fit off of the rack? Yes, but it's uncommon enough that you should expect the opposite and work alterations into your budget and into your time frame. Remember, bridal alterations specialists turn the dress into your dress. Which brings me to my next point. Someone who can sew and someone who can alter a wedding gown are not the same thing. Now, sometimes they are, but don't go assuming that's the case. There were few things that made me cringe more than when a bride would talk about their grandma or their auntie or their friend from church who sews. Sews what? Quilts? Aprons? Entire ensembles? Not the same thing as pinning and sewing a pre-made wedding dress to fit a specific bride, even if you are using the same tools, any more than cooking a chicken and baking a cake are the same thing, even though they both end up in the oven. Don't be that bride who comes to the big box store 2 weeks before her wedding because the family member who sews messed up the alterations on her fancy boutique wedding dress. I am begging you. But what if this person actually can pin and sew your wedding dress? That's great, but don't go into it assuming that they are willing to do so. Depending on your dress, alterations can take a lot of time, require specialized tools and skills, and on top of all that are a major commitment. I mean, it's your wedding dress, for Pete's sake. That's a lot of pressure, and little old Miss Betty from the church choir might not be prepared to take it on. Finally, even if Miss Betty is perfectly willing to do so, please, 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 1,000 times please, do not expect her to do so for free. Offer to pay her, and not a paltry sum either. She deserves to be paid for her experience and for the time and labor she's going to be putting into it. If she offers it for free, as a wedding gift perhaps, by all means, accept her generosity. But go into it expecting to pay, at the very least, for supplies. By the way, this also applies to family and friends who are florists, caterers, bakers, DJs, etc., etc. It's common courtesy, people. Set realistic expectations. Alterations are not magic, and alteration specialists are not magicians. even though we can do some pretty cool things. Our job is to make your dress fit you just the way you are, not the airbrushed 20-year-old model gracing the pages of the bridal magazines. And quite frankly, most of us have never looked like that. She might not even look like that. You never know. How do I say this? I've seen brides purchase a dress that they liked but did not love, usually because of a perceived flaw in the way that the dress fit a specific part of their body. In spite of this, they were under the impression that Alterations would be able to fix the dress in order to hide that flaw. This was most common in dresses that are generally unforgiving because of the cut and style, material, or a combination of both. Depending on the dress, potential fixes range from difficult to impossible, not to mention expensive and potentially futile. In these instances, my personal opinion is just to pick a different dress. It's going to be disappointing in the moment, but it'll save you the time and frustration of working with a dress you don't love, plus having to walk down the aisle in it. There's enough hassle with weddings as it is. Take my advice and avoid this one. Oh look, a perfect segue to number 4. Ask questions. If the bridal shop has an alterations specialist on staff, use her. Feel free to ask questions about fit, additions, pricing, and anything else you can think of. Tell her what you want and see what she says. Also, feel free to seek a second opinion or a third, whether it's because your visions don't align, pricing, whatever. A word of caution though, if multiple specialists are unwilling or unable to make a specific alteration, then it's probably not going to work or it's not going to turn out the way that you envisioned. Best to just take the L and move on. If you are asking about sizing and the size recommended isn't the one you wanted to hear, I know it hurts. However, women's sizing, especially in the United States, is complete and utter hogwash. The numbers themselves mean nothing, and no one is going to know what little number is sewn into your dress unless you tell them, but they are going to see how your dress fits. Always choose the best fit over the little number. In this vein, order the dress in the size you are now, not the size that you hope to be by the big day. In most cases, it's easier to take the dress in versus letting it out. However, there is a notable exception to this rule. Pregnancy. The most flattering dress is the one that fits fabulously. Apart from your alteration specialist, your best friend in achieving the most flattering fit is undergarments. Use them! Our sisters who preceded us knew the importance of proper undergarments when building the fashionable silhouette. While we no longer wear panniers, hoops, and bustles, modern wedding gown styles can require a little extra help in the form of slips, long bras, and Spanx. I think that the most important thing to remember is that the dress itself is not meant to shape and support you, although it can in a limited capacity. The bones and padding present in the dress provides shape, support, and structure for itself, first and foremost. Undergarments, on the other hand, provide shape and support for you, with the dress fitting over that foundational layer. Different dresses lend themselves to different levels of support. The least forgiving amongst them can accommodate a set of cups, while the most structured will allow for corsetry and hoop slips. Being aware of your undergarment needs and preferences, plus the capacity of the various dresses to fulfill these, will save you a lot of time on your search. And if you don't know what you need or what your options are, just ask. Your alterations specialist's job is to help you look best in your dress. And honestly, by wearing the proper undergarments, you are making her job a lot easier. A win-win scenario I think we all can get behind. So, let me know if this was helpful, or if there's anything you want expanded on, or any other questions you might have. I enjoyed this. Perhaps I shall continue. There's plenty more where that came from. Until next time, bye. Well, that one sounds stupid.